Welcome back to another episode of The Scoreboard. We are in week 8 of the UFL. Now this week, we'll talk about the UFL only. Won't have any extra auxiliary videos this time. We're kind of pressed for time a little bit. Plus, I think the UFL is all we really need at the moment because it's getting into the hot phase. It's playoff time, and we're here to talk about it. Smokey, how are you doing?
I am good. I am better than... I'm going to say showboats because they are obviously dead last in this league at this point in time. I could also say a couple other teams that have gotten knocked out at this point in time. But
like what?
The Renegades are no longer going to be part of the playoffs. Not like anybody had hope that they were still going to make it at this point. But after a performance like that, you would see that if they somehow worked their way into the playoffs, they may have had a shot at someone. But yeah, it's not going to happen. They are mathematically eliminated along with the Showboats. I don't think the Showboats also have a chance to get into the playoffs anymore. But obviously, the way they're playing, it doesn't really matter. They would not have had an outside shot at anything. And probably after this week, there's going to be a couple other eliminations. I believe the Roughnecks are on the chopping block. Probably the Defenders are still
They're out already.
Oh, they are? I thought they still had
it. The UFL, the USFL is done. Stallions and Panthers, it is sealed.
Okay. Okay.
Already done.
All right. Well, I thought they had a shot, but good. I think we're looking at pretty much a dead set playoff at this point. Maybe the Brahmas and it's got to be. I think it's got to be set, right? Is there any other possibility that we don't get the Stallions, the Brahmas, the Battlehawks, and the Panthers?
The only playoff spot that's still available is one spot in the XFL. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely getting Stallions, Panthers, and then it's between the Hawks and Brahmas and the Defenders. So the Defenders can dethrone either the Battlehawks or Brahmas. That is all that's left. Nothing else.
That's what I was saying is mathematically there's a shot that the Defenders still make it in, but yeah, probably not going to happen the way they've been playing, especially if Tamu is injured. So I think we're pretty much set. Although the Brahmas, even though they've been winning, they don't look at their best. So there is that.
There's one key game this week that'll determine potentially everything and how exciting the last 2 weeks are going to go. And I guess we'll focus on that as well. But first, we'll still go in chronological order. Boats at the Panthers in a meaningless USFL
game. Yeah. Sorry, I was on the wrong page. I was like, that's not number one. Yes, the Boats and the Panthers. Well, the Showboats absolutely failed last week to shut down the Renegades. The Renegades blew them out of the water, and it was no contest. I feel like I should be vindicated by that somehow, but it is the Showboats. And I gave up on the Renegades like 3 weeks back, so it really doesn't matter anymore. But the Panthers pulled out a win also with Bryce Perkins and Brian Lewerke switching out there with Danny Etling being out. Great game on the ground with Matt Colburn and Wes Hills. Wes Hills, I think, was the highest scoring running back in the entire league last week. Samson Nakua has broken out alongside of Trey Quinn there and Cole Hicatini. This team looks like it should be in a great spot. Some people are going to be worried now that they're on their third and possibly fourth quarterback at this time. But they may be in better shape right now without Danny Etling than they were with Danny Etling. I'll tell you that. On the other side, there is nothing. There is no bright spots on this team. Troy Williams, Case Cookis, it doesn't matter. Darius Victor, yeah, he's decent. It doesn't matter. Vinny Papale is the star at wide receiver. Doesn't matter. Say Surratt. John DeFilippo has a horrible team, and he will probably, in my opinion, be replaced as coach for the next season. Right now, it's obvious. Panthers at home.
Yeah, only way this doesn't go that way is with the Panthers sort of starting to rest their starters, but you don't do that in week 8. Panthers win. The Boats can't protect the ball at all. They lost. Got blown out bad by the worst team in football. Or now second worst team, I guess. Showboats are probably down the drain in the power rankings this week. For me, they would be after that showing. Panthers win. I I think the Panthers' path is pretty set in stone, though. They're going to make the playoffs and they're going to lose to Birmingham because they're going to be playing with, yeah, you said it, the third, fourth, second, whatever, quarterback. That's the Achilles heel, and that's what's going to put a cap on their season. That is going to be what limits them from going to the championship game. You do not beat a Stallions team that you can match roster-wise, almost position by position, with this stark of a difference at quarterback. Not going to happen, so Panthers get this one, but only because it's the Boats. Also, another meaningless USFL game, Roughnecks at Birmingham.
Yeah, here we are. This is going to be another blowout for the Stallions. Now, the Stallions' run defense is not looking too well. That's about the only weak spot that I've seen on the Stallions. Adrian Martinez is having an MVP season, and he may actually be up for that award now because he had to beat A.J. McCarron to get that award, and A.J. McCarron is now hurt. He actually said his leg was broken. I don't think it actually is broken. He's probably going to play. He's going to pull like a Matt Stafford. Yeah, probably so. But Adrian Martinez, this is his award to win if he can continue doing what he's doing, slightly through the air and mostly on the ground, because he's just that good. Ricky Person and CJ Marable are having a career season together because, like I've said all season, that is the number 1 and the number 2 running back in this entire league. Jay Sternberger is always out there to help. Skip Holtz has been praying to Lucifer, and he will win this game again. Probably go undefeated this entire season once again, because their biggest test is out of the way for the season. Stallions easily at home.
There are 2 tests coming up, though. Brahmas and Panthers to end the season. So there's room for a slip-up, but they have clinched the playoffs, and by winning this week, they can clinch the number 1 seed in the USFL division. And they are going to win. 7-0 team, best team in spring football. Not much to talk about. Let's flip the games here because I want to talk about the Defenders and Battlehawks in a little more detail. Renegades and Brahmas on Sunday.
Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention about the Roughnecks. I mean, they're so horrible that it's hard to bring them up. But Jared Garantano is back, and Mark Thompson did not quit for some reason. He said he wanted to quit, but I guess he didn't.
Not officially.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the Renegades and the Brahmas. You know what? Call me crazy, but I think the Renegades might get another win here. The Brahmas, without Quentin Dormady and Kevin Hogan, is in there. Not that Quentin Dormady was any better, but Kevin Hogan is not better himself. I remember Kevin Hogan from Hard Knocks. I believe he was like the 4th-string quarterback to Baker Mayfield for the Browns there in his first season when they were on Hard Knocks. Anyway, he's got some good pass catchers out there, Landon Akers and Jontre Kirkland and Cody Latimer. He's got the weapons out there to do it. I just don't know if Kevin Hogan can actually do it, because on the other side, the Renegades, Luis Perez is the most productive quarterback. That's all you can say about the Renegades, is they have the most productive quarterback in the entire league. The team around them is garbage. Davion Smith had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards last week because they were just that far ahead that they could run the ball out. Doesn't mean the team is any good outside of their quarterback, but he's going to go out there and try to win. Jesus, there was 2 touchdowns to 3 different players last week because they had that easy of a time. And Luis Perez is that good, like I said. I don't know what to pick here, really. You know what? I'm going to do it because I'm falling behind in our picks anyway, because somehow you've hit all 4 games 3 weeks in a row. Yeah, and I've only hit 3 games 3 weeks in a row. So you're pulling away with the lead. I don't have anything to lose at this point. There's not enough games that are that indecisive that I can catch up. So I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say the Renegades get win number 2 on the season right here.
You know, you're supposed to go out when you're on top, right?
Yes.
You leave the table when you're winning.
Yes.
If you've been going bankrupt again and again and again, and you're on your 5th buy-in, and you finally win a hand,
yeah,
maybe you leave because maybe you're just bad and you're probably going to lose it again. I'll take the Brahmas here, 5-2. I know they didn't play an impressive game, and it was like a field goal parade, and it was awful to watch last week. but they did get it done. After all, they did win the game in a very unimpressive fashion against a terrible Roughnecks team, and they had to come back from behind to do so. But that's what they've been doing a few times already this year. Renegades got to win. Look great on offense. You got your Luis Perez game. Okay, there he is. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's a better quarterback. He's going to be the better quarterback on the field. And if the Brahmas had him, they would be a serious contender for the Battlehawks. But he's not. And, he won the game. Fine, he got his thing. The offense was good for the Renegades, but they're not repeating this. Brahmas win. They're the better team in almost any position, especially running back and offensive line. And that'll offset the quarterback difference. Brahmas take it. Now, the only game that really matters this week for playoff implications is this old-fashioned rivalry. Defenders, Battlehawks. Well, here's what's on the line. If the Battlehawks win this game, the Defenders can no longer catch them. So if the Battlehawks win, they clinch the playoffs. Defenders are likely to be eliminated if the Brahmas also win.
Well, after last week, I think that took the life out of the Defenders. They had a shot to win that game against the Panthers. And Panthers just relied on their kicker to win the game for them. But Jordan Ta'amu has a concussion. So I think it may be Jalen McClendon playing this game. I would doubt that Ta'amu is going to be out there after getting a concussion unless he clears protocol, which I don't even know what the protocol is, if it's anything like the NFL. I don't know if it in the NFL is most likely he's not going to be out there. So we'll see what happens here if Jordan Ta'amu can play in this game. I really doubt it. The run game is dead for the Defenders. There's nothing outside of Kelvin Harmon catching passes out there. Like, where is their run game? It's dead. Cameron Harris, where is he? Like, he's on the back of a milk carton at this point. Alex Ellis, like I pointed out, that he broke out a couple weeks ago, a name from the past. He was all inefficient in this game and almost missing. After Ta'amu is out, this team doesn't have much to its credit. But on the other side, like I said, A.J. McCarron claimed he broke his leg, which is really weird because he didn't break his leg. But I think it was just in the moment. He felt like, oh, God, I think I snapped it. Jacob Saylor, he's back out there doing good things. Hakeem Butler did play after his injury the week before. So you still have that duo if A.J. McCarron is able to play this game, which I believe he has to be. If they want to win this division and take on the Stallions in the end, he's going to have to be out there. Because, as we've seen with most of these teams, the backups are not pretty. So, Anthony Betch has to tell A.J. McCarron that you're playing this game. Even if you have to walk out there in a cast, you're playing this game. And that's going to... it's got to be the Battlehawks. If A.J. McCarron is out there, the Battlehawks are winning this game. There's no doubt about it. Because I don't think Ta'amu's playing anyway. Taking the Battlehawks at home.
Interesting scenario would be if we have two backup quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if they think they got this game in hand, if they think they can legitimately beat the Defenders with their backup against the Defenders' backup, they may rest him. I don't know. I wouldn't take that chance if I was Anthony Betch, but you never know.
See, I don't think it matters really whether we get both or one or none. I think the Battlehawks are just a much better team all over the field. And Ta'amu, while he is definitely a big upgrade over the second quarterback for any team, and if St. Louis has to trot the backup out there, which I really have no idea how to tell for either of these teams. News coverage there isn't great, so I can't tell who's playing. I also don't know how the concussion protocol looks in the NFL. Of course, famously, the severity of a quarterback's concussion is determined by cognitive function divided by TV ratings lost. I don't know if the UFL does the same thing, but this is the one game everyone wants to see. It's the one game that matters. So you would think that both of these teams feel that it's imperative to have their quarterback out there if they want to have a chance to win. Defenders win, they are within a game of the Battlehawks, and then everything's doable. Suddenly, everything is possible in the last 2 weeks. If they lose, they're just done. So for them, it's a must-win. They are going to throw out there whatever they can. If there's a way for Ta'amu to get cleared, he's going to get cleared. and McCarron should. The only thing I've heard is like day to day. They can't say for sure. He's day to day. They have to win at least one more game. They would love to do it this week. They can start preparing for San Antonio and for the playoffs. I will take the Battlehawks to win the game because at this point I just have to flip a coin on both quarterbacks and say, yeah, maybe they both play, maybe they don't. It's equally likely, and with that, the Battlehawks have the better roster. I like the Defenders special teams unit. It's surprised, like I don't know if this is just like me looking at the right moments, but every time I look up, the Defenders seem to return a kickoff for 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just me, but they seem to be a really, really good return unit. And that is something that you have to keep them in check because they're good on the ground. Once they get into favorable field positions, they are very good in their ground attack. I do, however, trust the Battlehawks' air attack and also defense to shut them down enough. I guess the average viewer wants the Defenders to win, though, so we can have exciting football for week 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I don't like the Defenders. Still the old rivalry from the pure XFL days. So I'll take the Battlehawks. I'll take the better team to win and put the seal on the XFL division here. Which means that the next 2 weeks we have to find other headline topics other than the UFL to talk about because these games will not be interesting anymore.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we'll have to come up with some stipulations for our predictions or betting or something to make them fun. But yeah, give me the Battlehawks as well.
AJ McCarron needs to win. I mean, he needs to play, right? If he wants to win that MVP trophy, he needs to play.
Yeah, if he wants to win MVP, he has to play. That's right.
Yeah,
that is correct. That's his advantage over Martinez right now, is he's played every game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Martinez was part of rotation. Yeah.
If he misses a couple games, that's probably going to slip away, though.
Yeah, it's more egregious to miss the games at the end of the season compared to the start. Missing weeks 1 and 2 is not as bad as weeks 8 and 9 or 9 and 10.
Yep, that's exactly it. So
that'll stick in the voters' minds.
I have a feeling he's going to play, if at all possible.
I feel like we're going to see both of them, Tamu and McCarron. If possible, cleared, they will both go out. Of course, a leg injury is a little different than a head injury, right?
Yeah.
They'll clear you. They'll clear you if you had a broken leg. If you can, like, physically walk and you can take the instability and the pain, sure, go play. But with the head injury, they're kind of obligated to medically keep you out.
Yeah, well,
maybe a little bit more of a
maybe he's consulting. Situation. He's consulting his counterpart there in the NFL, Tua Tagovailoa, and
oh yeah. There's a lot of history there with head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. But Tamu isn't. He's not prone to concussions, is he? It's the first time I've
not that I've ever known. Yeah, no.
The problem with Tua was that he when he got sacked, he fell down like a tree. Right, he didn't know how to protect himself at all. And I don't know if you heard this, but fun fact: Tua worked with like a martial arts coach in the last offseason to learn how to fall. Like he literally just learned how to take bumps like professional wrestlers, so he wouldn't hit his head on the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have went to a pro wrestler for that.
Exactly. It works.
Yeah, absolutely.
It works.
Yeah, I learned how to take bumps, and there is a legitimate way to fall where you will not even feel it if you do it right. 9
out of 10 times you tuck your chin.
Oh yeah.
But I guess with the football on the field it's a little different too because you're getting hit from all sides and everything.
True.
But,
True.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't think it'll be a problem for Tamu. If he's cleared, he'll play.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. The season is on the line.
Season's on the line. That's the thing. Do you want to quickly do power rankings before we get off the air here? We have some adjustments, I guess, or one notable one.
Yeah, well, I don't know that it's... Let me look back. I don't know that mine is that much different than last week.
Yours was...
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I knocked the defenders down a little bit, but I have the Stallions at number 1, the Battlehawks at number 2, the Panthers at number 3. The Brahmas are at number 4, which I feel like they could fall after this week, but they won head-to-head with the Defenders, so the Defenders are at number 5. I still have the Renegades at number 6 because they did what I said they were going to do last week. Roughnecks at number 7, and the Showboats are number 8.
You know what? I'll give it to you. I'm gonna let you have those power rankings. The only thing I would contest potentially is the Panthers Brahmas, but given last week, I will have the Panthers 3, Brahmas 4. So I actually agree exactly with your power rankings, and that includes now the Renegades over the Boats and over the Roughnecks after they finally got their win. You know, they are the least terrible of all the terrible teams.
Well, listen, I mean, it's Bob Stoops in that defense. If this, like, 2 or 3 of those games, I'd say at least 3 of those games that came down to the wire early in the season went the other way, this team would be right in the mix. You know, they're up there with the Defenders. They're in the mix for playoff contention, and they are still. After last week, they may have bumped themselves up to number 1 offense in the entire league, which is really weird that they only have 1 win, like I mentioned last week. But the offense is just that good. No, I'm going to say Luis Perez is that good. Sal Cannella is really good also, but. Yeah, but either way, they're at number 6. I think that's where they belong for right now.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, bottom half for sure. But yeah, honestly, you can reshuffle those 3 teams however you like. They all like steal a point of each other here and there, and that's it.
I think I made this clear earlier. I'm starting to lose faith in the Brahmas, though. Like, even though they're winning a good bit, I'm starting to lose faith in them. This team looks worse each week, in my opinion. Yes, they were going up against a really good defense, a team that had no offense, but they're not looking as good as I thought they were early in the season. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're going to get knocked out of contention, maybe. And maybe.
And on the note that you claimed the number 1 offense in the league, may I shut that down really quickly?
Oh, is it
as
still
I noticed that the Stallions lead the league in passing yards, rushing yards, in kicking, scoring offense and scoring defense, yards per game, and the turnover differential.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, they're still number 2 then. But that was a hell of a week for offense, though.
It was.
For the Renegades.
That's right. Yeah. Too bad there's more than one side to football. So much easier.
I know. That's what sucks. I blame Bob Stoops. He's a defensive coach. You should be able to put together a defense, right?
That's right. Like, you have the quarterback who can run the spring league offense efficiently. Yeah. You should be able to put a defense together as a defensive coach. That's
exactly. Right. Yeah. As we've seen over the past few years, he's not been able to. I don't know what happened from his time at Oklahoma to now. He has not been able to put together a defense. But then again, I will say that when his brother, after Lincoln Riley took over at Oklahoma, Mike Stoops, because Mark Stoops is at Kentucky. Mike Stoops stayed behind and ran the defense, and it was some of the worst defenses in Oklahoma history. They still had a decent offense, but their defenses were absolutely horrible under Mike Stoops. So maybe it's just that the Stoops are not that good at defense. That may be the case.
Maybe not. Last year, the Renegades played better defense than they do now.
Mm-hmm. Well, a little, yeah.
No, but yeah. I don't know how to explain it to be
abysmal on defense this year. Yeah.
It's been costing games. I don't know. Yep. Can't tell. I feel like Luis Perez would be so much more on both the Panthers and Brahmas now. Both of those are teams that are have the caliber roster to make it to the championship, but both will fall a quarterback short of getting there.
Yes, that is absolutely is. Unless E.J. Perry comes back at some point, or Chase Garbers. If he comes back or E.J. Perry comes back, they may be in decent condition. But Luis Perez on either one of those teams, they are almost penciled in for the championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the championship game if your Panthers are going against the Stallions, so that's probably not in the cards. But yeah, then you'd have to face the Battlehawks too. But at least the NFL and XFL and USFL championship games. Yeah, they definitely make it there on either team.
Absolutely. We'll see how this works out though. Again, the Battlehawks and Defenders is the one game to keep an eye on. That's the key for this week. And I guess that's the one I'm the most curious about as well, to hear from our viewers what you think about it. And are you thinking Battlehawks will take it away and we have a boring final 2 weeks? Or can the Defenders pull up the big upset, get it done, and suddenly the XFL is as interesting as it can be? It'll be wide open, especially if the Renegades also win, as you've explained. Then any two teams can make the playoffs. And that's something. That's something I guess I'd like. I mean, I wouldn't like to see as a Battlehawks sympathizer and a Defenders disliker, but from a perspective of wanting to see interesting football for 2 more weeks, that would be the plan. I feel like a lot of neutral fans will probably go that way. But I want to know what you think. Drop us a like and let us know in the comments your opinion about this game. The other ones too, if you have an interesting one, or if you disagree with us. But let us know what you think about the Battlehawks Defenders. I think that's it's probably the big focus this week, and ultimately what's going to make the difference. I'm curious to see. Smokey, do you have anything to add about this one?
No, that's it for this week.
All right. Just once again, we don't have any other videos for this week. It's just a simple podcast, but we'll be going back to the more bite-sized and more different topics and games and everything as we sort of build up sort of our idea and image of what the channel is going to be for this week. Just a time for the podcast, kind of doing it last second anyway. But thank you for watching anyway. Drop us a like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Deuces.
Listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's 4th down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard.